Vegeta, what does the scouter say about his
monthly bill?
It's over 9,000! What, 9,000? There's no way that can be right!
Today is Monday, the 18th of October, 2021, and ladies and gentlemen, today will go down in history as the day that Elden Ring was delayed. That's right, for those who don't know, Elden Ring has been delayed 5 years. It's now scheduled to come out 2026. So I hope that you guys are ready to wait, okay? No, it's not delayed 5 years. It's delayed about a month. Honestly, I don't really care. Like, to be very transparent with all of you, I actually never believed that Elden Ring was coming out in January. That's actually my take, because it's funny, all these past few months, people ask me, are you hyped for Elden Ring? What do you think of Elden Ring? And I've been like, you know, I'm hyped for it. But, you know, I just kind of had this feeling. It was not coming out in January. Because, number one, big games usually don't come out in January. If you take a look historically at the release timing of most video games, January is historically one of the slowest, if not the slowest month of the year. They almost never, ever have big releases then. January always ends up being the date, or the month that I end up playing kind of filler games, because there's just nothing going on. Usually it's, oh, let's get caught up on things I missed out on during the hardcore gaming season and stuff like that. And when they said it was coming out in January, I was like, but there's nothing else coming out in January. Which would make perfect sense. Now everyone can focus on Elden Ring. And I was like, that shit ain't coming out. I knew it. I just had this feeling, this underlying feeling the whole time. And so, when they announced this morning it was being delayed, I was not shocked at all. Okay? It is being delayed until late February. But there's a slight problem with that. Okay? It's funny because I'm jumping right into the gaming news before we even get to the schedule or whatever, because it's basically just such big news. Okay? The problem with all of this right now is very simple. There's just too many fucking games coming out in February. Okay? I've been saying this the last 2 months. I've been saying, man, this busy fall gaming season just doesn't feel like a busy fall gaming season. If you take a look at the games that are coming out and the games that I've been playing, it just doesn't feel like the usual late year of schedule of gaming. I'll give you an example. Let's look at all the games I'm playing right now, okay? Alan Wake Remastered. It's a modern remaster of a game that's 11 years old with modernized graphics, okay? Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. It's a modern collection of games from 20 years ago with modernized graphics. Back 4 Blood. It's the spiritual successor to a game from 11 years ago with modernized graphics and gameplay mechanics. Far Cry 6, the latest installment in a series of games that's been out for the past 15 years that all feel like the same game. You see what I'm saying? I think you understand what I'm getting at here. This is not the busy gaming season that we're used to, right? Usually this time of year, there's ginormous AAA releases, either the continuation of existing giant IPs that were highly anticipated, or game companies are taking risks with new game releases that end up being blockbusters. And where has that occurred, really? It hasn't at all. If you look at the releases the last 1 to 2 months, when normally all this is going on, it's like remaster, re-release, remaster, re-release, modernization of an old franchise, remaster, re-release. What the fuck? Where's the new games? Right? And then if you actually take a look at the game release schedule for next year, I think you'll realize what actually happened. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to read you a summarization of the biggest games of February 2022. February 4th, Dying Light 2. February 18th, Horizon Forbidden West. February 22nd, the major expansion for Destiny 2, The Witch Queen. February 22nd, The King of Fighters 15. February 22nd, the new indie game, Sifu, which is some kind of a unique Kung Fu style game that apparently is going to have narrative. I look at it and I'm thinking maybe it's kind of like Sleeping Dogs +++ with the combat, but it looks really good. February 25th, the new Saints Row. Also February 25th, Elden Ring. Okay? I just described a 3-week period of which there's 7 insanely high-profile new releases in February. That's not all the games coming out in February. That's a quick summary of February. Okay? You understand what I'm getting at now? And take a look at this. Dying Light 2, we've been waiting for that one for a million years. Horizon Forbidden West, oh my god, insane AAA ginormous game. Expansion for Destiny 2, that's huge for people who are fans of that style of game. A new fighting game that's thrown in. An indie game that's thrown in. A new Saints Row, first one in a ridiculously long time. And Elden Ring, arguably the biggest game of that month. So, I mean, what the frick? You know? And this is crazy that they're doing this like this, okay? I don't know why these game publishers do this. I just don't understand it, okay? We have January, an entire month, with almost nothing coming out, and guess what? None of the high-profile releases come out in January, right? None. We will release all games within 3 weeks. Like, what the fuck are you thinking? Okay, just from a logic perspective, okay? And you can argue, well, first of all, Elden Ring will not be negatively affected by that. You're likely right. I would argue that Horizon Forbidden West and Elden Ring will sell like crazy during February, okay? Nothing's going to destroy those two dynamos. Those are two insanely huge franchises that are going to sell like crazy, okay? But when you have all those other games coming out in the same time period, all right, it is absolutely impossible to think that those games are not going to eat into each other's market share. No one is going to be playing 8 new games in 1 month. It's just not possible. Unless you're just sitting around playing games all day, every day, and you have no life.
You, motherfucker. You're talking about you.
There's no way you can play through that many games in a short period of time. Most people cannot afford that many games in a short period of time, right? And the argument of, oh, well, they're all different genres. I mean, that's correct. You're absolutely right. That doesn't mean people can still play 8, 9 games in 3 weeks, you know? Especially when you're talking about, oh, there's a new fighting game, King of Fighters 15. I'm very excited for that. How the fuck do you have time to play it? A fighting game takes a lot of time investment to learn and adapt, and, you know, how the fuck do you do that when you got all that other shit out there? You know what I mean? It's just insane that these game publishers have chosen this month, February, as the month of insane release. And it used to be October, November, and now it's February. And this is happening, it seems, every year now. For those who don't know, a lot of these companies have a fiscal year that ends in February, March. So what they're essentially doing is they're trying to push out their new releases for the end of their fiscal year so they can slap those earnings on and make it look like they had an insane year when in reality they only sold games at the end of the year. That's what they tried to do. But this is just stupid at this point. I mean, really, this is dumb. This is boneheaded. You cannot release like 10 high-profile releases in 3 weeks and think that people are going to gobble them all up and you're going to make a lot of money. Like I said, if you're Horizon Forbidden West or if you're Elden Ring, those are the two that can basically kind of sit there and say, okay, we got unique enough experiences, giant IPs, we're okay. Everyone else should be scared shitless right now who has a game that's slated for February. In fact, I would go as far to say, looking at like Sifu, that game should just delay right now. It doesn't even matter if the game's ready to release, just delay it. There's no point in releasing that game in February. You are going to ridiculously reduce the amount of people who will play your game at launch if you're releasing it at the same time as all those other games. That's dumb. Okay? And I feel bad because you look at some of those, like Sifu looks good. It looks like a game that I would absolutely be interested in and want to play, but not in the middle of a million other AAA releases. You see? Now you might say, well, if they're all targeting all different audiences, yes, that is, you know, like I said, you got a fighting game. You got a kung fu game that's not really a traditional fighting game. You got an open world exploration style game that's a little bit more casual, more story oriented in Horizon. You got the hardcore open world exploration experience with Elden Ring. You've got an MMO, obviously, co-op with Destiny 2. You're right, but still, it doesn't matter. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter. This is just stupid. It needs to be spread out. And these game developers need to stop worrying about the fiscal year at this point. And I know, oh, well, we're a company and they work on this to make money and blah, blah, blah. Enough is enough. No, you cannot do that. It has to be spread out. This fall was their opportunity to have a few of these games come out. None of them were ready, and you can argue it's COVID's fault. Okay, fine. It's COVID's fault that all these games got delayed. They were all supposed to come out this year. They didn't. Okay, I'll accept that. But then don't release everything at once next year. And then what'll happen is, oh, what a shame that these games didn't do as well as expected. And now the budgets are cut and the teams are disbanded because the publisher says, oh, I just didn't bring in the kind of money that we wanted. You know, like Sleeping Dogs, which I just brought up, a game that was outstanding. A game that was unique. A game that was fun as shit. And, oh, it didn't sell up to sales expectations. Why? They fucking sold it in the hardcore gaming season. So it was lost in the shuffle of a million other high-profile games. It didn't sell as much as they wanted, and they disbanded the fucking team, and the team never made another game ever again. So that's what I mean. You can't do that. You can't put talent in a judgmental state, but then release a game that's unique and full of talent in the midst of 10 other games, and then expect that it's the game's fault it didn't sell. No, it's not. It's your fault. You're the game publisher. You're a dumb fuck who didn't understand that the game's landscape needs to be looked at as a big picture rather than just your one individual game. Like, I mean this now. Sifu, King of Fighters, they need to sit down and they need to look at what's going on in February. And if they think they're going to release their games then and they're not going to be affected, that's just ignorance. That's like living in a pipe dream, man. No, people are not going to buy your games if they are going to drop money that month on the giant releases. Doesn't even matter if those games aren't even your genre. It doesn't matter. People have limited time, limited money, limited resources to do things. And in February, there's 2 big games, Horizon and Elden Ring. And everything else is a maybe, or a if I have time for it, or if I have enough money for it. But I know what 2 games I'm playing in February. You see? So, for me, I look at the situation, I'm like, I'm not surprised Elden Ring got delayed at all. I actually expected it. I kind of had this feeling all along they were going to delay this thing. But then I look at February and I'm like, this is just fucking boneheaded. Saints Row? Who the fuck is going to play Saints Row the same day as Elden Ring? Those fucking Saints might as well... they might as well just quit the gang and go become clerks at fucking Walmart. No one is going to give two craps about Saints Row when Elden Ring comes out the same day. Seriously. Wow. You want to talk about a game that will be forgotten? Yeah, that's your definition of a game that's not going to be played. It's going to be completely forgotten. All right? So, for me, is it disappointing to see Elden Ring delayed a month? Not really. It doesn't really affect me. I mean, it would have been awesome to have Elden Ring be the only game out in a certain month and be able to focus in on it heavily. But now, it's kind of the opposite situation, right? What other games are now going to be forgotten because Elden Ring's out? And I really hope that these other game publishers now will look at the February and say, oh shit, and spread their stuff out. If this means they can release their games a few weeks early, in January, that would be ideal. January is now completely empty for game releases. There is nothing going on. So if a few of these games say, oh, we can actually pull back our release 2-3 weeks, come out in like mid to late January, they'll actually do really well, I feel. That's a sweet spot that really people aren't taking advantage of. January has always been a very, very slow time of the year for games, and I always felt that if good games came out in January, they would do really well sales-wise, but they just never do. So if any of these game companies could push back the release and say, oh, we can release a little early, I think they should, or they should just delay a few months. I do not want to see a game, you know what I say, like, of all the games there, Sifu actually worries me the most, because it looks good, and I don't want that game to sell poorly, because they're in the midst of the craziest fucking month ever. You know, that's sad. King of Fighters, that's also kind of worrying, because I had high hopes for that game. I did. And now I don't know if it's going to do well because everyone's going to be playing other games. You know what I mean? Like, King of Fighters is out within 3 days. Elden Ring's out. Who the fuck cares about King of Fighters? Everyone wants to play Elden Ring, right? So, yeah, it does. It worries me. I guess we'll see what happens. Now, the other piece of news that came out this morning is that Elden Ring is going to have a closed network test. Okay? It's going to be across the month of November. Like, I think there's like 5 different sessions that are going to happen. And it's for all 4 major consoles. The Xbox One, the Xbox Series S and X, the PlayStation 4, and the PlayStation 5. Okay, I've registered. I don't know if I'm going to be selected. Even if I'm selected, chances are it is a closed network test. They probably won't let you publicly stream it. You know what I'm saying? It may be, oh, it's actually closed and it's just for testing purposes and they don't want you to be sharing this footage. Or maybe it will be. I don't know. They haven't really said yet. Likely if you get selected for it, then they'll send you all the terms and conditions. And it'll say in there whether or not you could stream, you could capture, etc. But I did sign up for it. It certainly doesn't mean I'm going to be selected. There's no, oh, you are a streamer, so you get priority kind of deal. It doesn't happen. It's going to be, you know, probably just a lottery, I would think. You know, so I guess we'll see how it goes. So that's the morning's news when it comes to game news, by the way. That was pretty much what I wanted to talk about. Snow Carl tipped me $1.50. Says, in light of yesterday, I think it would be good if you clarified what tippers are legally obliged to ask for in return for their contributions. Do you think a tipper should be able to demand you fulfill your promises no matter what, or is a shout out enough? Nothing at all. All right? I think that there needs to be some clarification. All right? When you are watching anyone stream, this is not just me, this is anyone on the internet. You're watching someone stream, okay? And that person is providing free content to you. You willingly decide you want to contribute to said stream. Oh, I want to contribute to help out this person who's giving me free stuff. Here you go. That's where that relationship ends. There is no commitment of anything. It is not a Kickstarter where you are supporting that content and now you're expecting to get something concrete in return. It is not a transactional purchase where you're buying something with your transaction. That's not what happens at all. People have crazy misconceptions about online content creation and the ways to support it and what that means and what that entails. Okay? You are not buying something when you contribute to a content creator or streamer. You're not. It doesn't even matter if they say, oh, you get this in return for this, you get this in return. That's not the case. You are essentially saying, I like what you're doing. I'm going to tip you for something you're already doing that I like. Okay? That's what you're doing. If you're doing it for any other reason, you are wrong. You're doing it wrong. And you're misunderstanding the relationship you have with that content creator. Okay? Content creators basically are online performers. We're in front of a camera and we're putting out a product for hundreds, if not thousands of people on a daily basis. Right now on this stream, I got about 215 people so far watching on the pre-stream. Over the course of the stream, arguably 500 to 1,000 unique viewers will probably watch this stream. I am trying to entertain you with discussion, with gameplay, whatever it may be. That's my job, okay? That is my main concern. That is what I'm doing. I am not here to give shout-outs. I am not here to put on a funny vest or a hat or put on glasses. I'm here to put out an entertaining product for free. That's what I do. That is my occupation, okay? Now, because the nature of my business is put out a free product and then get crowdfunded for it, there are things that are discussed and or, promised in regards of certain rewards, right? As I said, if you contribute in any way, and as long as you're abiding by the rules of the stream, meaning you're not insulting me or other people, you're not derailing the stream with discourse of like religion or politics, which you guys know I don't delve into. If you're using common sense and you're in line with the stuff that's going on in the stream, I'm going to give you a shout out. There are circumstances where that won't happen. Maybe I feel that what you're saying is not in line with the rules, or Maybe I just don't want to discuss a certain topic that you keep bugging me about. I feel like it derails the stream. Or, very well, I'm a human and I'm flawed and I just miss it. I missed your contribution and I didn't shout it out. But that's okay. That happens. There is no guarantee that you will get anything in regards to a reaction to a contribution. There is never a promise or contract that's laid out. It's hilarious because these idiots who try to basically defraud PayPal, they'll try to go to PayPal and they'll say, oh, I tipped Phil on a live stream and he didn't give me a shout out, so he broke the contract and I want my money back. There's no contract. Where the fuck do you see a contract written anywhere that says that? It doesn't exist. There's no contract between you and me because you threw me $1 on a stream that I'm going to give you a shout out. That never existed. And I say that to PayPal and PayPal always rules in my favor. So that's what I mean. Like, these people have these crazy weirdo misconception of what online content creation and supporting that content is, okay? Now, in regards to tips rewards and stuff like that, tiered rewards, okay? The idea is that in exchange for a certain level of support on a stream, I will do something to say thanks. Whether it's put on glasses, put on a hat, put on a vest. But, as always, these things are always going to be directly dependent on, number one, the safety of me and the stream itself, the quality of the stream itself, and the fact that it's not going to hinder the content that I'm putting out. As I've told you guys many times over the years, I'm not just going to do something that's going to ruin the level of the content I'm putting out. When someone says put on the fucking Sonic hat or the Yoshi hat or whatever, okay? I'm not going to do that because I can't even concentrate on the game if I'm wearing a giant stuffed fucking hat and my head is sweating profusely. I'm never going to make progress in the game. I'm going to feel sick, you know? So I'm not going to do that. So in particular, I think the reason that Snowcrawl's asking this is because last night on the Monkey Ball stream, as I said, I was completely destroyed by this game, okay? This stage, this 8 bracelet stage, is so difficult. And my body temperature is ramping up because I'm trying to beat it, and it's very, I'm on edge. Every time I take a run at this thing, you know, my blood pressure is going up trying to do it. And I'm wearing the platinum vest and the cowboy hat, and I'm not kidding. I was soaked in sweat. Soaked. My back was completely saturated wet. My hat, I had a pool of sweat around the band of the hat on my forehead, and I'm trying to wipe. My hair is wet, and it's matted to my head. I'm wiping it. I'm like, I can't concentrate. I'm never going to beat this stage at this rate. I can't even fucking pay attention to what I'm doing. So I took this stuff off and I explained to everyone. I said, guys, I got to take it off. It is what it is. You know, I've worn it for a bit. I got to take it off because I'm concentrating on the stage. Okay? And then you get people, right? Then you get people who literally sit here and instead of paying attention to the stream or interacting with me in a positive way, where's the vest? Where's the hat? Where is it? Why is there no vest? Why is there no hat? Where owed the vest and hat? Where is it? Here's the truth. If that's your mentality, you don't care about me. You don't care about the stream. All you care about is some kind of like personal weirdo demand, some weird entitlement complex that you have in your head that for some reason, because we reached a certain level of support, you're owed a vest and a hat. What is wrong with you? And I mean that, like, you got something wrong with you. If you think that that is the actual focus of my streams, this is not Phil's vest and hat stream. This is Phil's gameplay stream, right? As long as I'm playing a game and I'm trying to do progress, you know, in a game, that I'm doing my job, right? I don't understand what the fuck people are saying or doing, what they're thinking. If they're going to say stuff like, oh, I'm absolutely owed this, I'm entitled to this. Like, what the fuck? Where do you even come off acting like that on a stream? Like, that's ridiculous behavior. And there were people who were doing that. And it was like, what the fuck is your problem? You know, that is not the point of the stream. And the other funny part about that, of course, the people complaining didn't contribute. The people who contributed, actually one of them outright said, I don't even care if you wear the vest or hat. I'm a major contributor tonight. I'm just here to support you. Do your thing, Phil. But it's these people who want to sit here entitled. You didn't even contribute, and you're going to sit here and bitch that there's no vest or hat. Like, do you understand you look like a little petulant child? And you seem so just ridiculously over the top, demanding and entitled and ungrateful, honestly. For someone I've been doing this for 13 years. I'm here 6 days a week full time. I'm playing an incredibly difficult game. I got no background here in Monkey Ball at all. I'm trying to make progress. I don't want to sit here and play this stage for 4 days. I want to beat it. I'm sweating. I'm completely soaked in sweat, right? Soaked in sweat. You don't think that it's in my best interest to maybe not wear a fucking vest that's going to make me continuously sweat harder and probably make my body temperature go up higher and probably make me feel sick? Do you not care? Because if you don't, you shouldn't be here. If you don't care about the streamer you're watching, don't watch them. Go do something else with your time. Don't be a fucking dick who's only here because you got some kind of a vested interest in someone, you know, having something bad happen to them. Like, you're fucked up in the head. Really, I mean it. You're fucked up in the head if you're watching a stream because you want to see someone get hurt, essentially. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Okay? So, that's the deal. And this is, oh, by the way, this is not rocket science. This is not something that's never been discussed before. This has always been this way. Content creation is the same for everyone. This is not just me. Every online content creator is the same. Okay? But for some reason, You know, we get an by the way, how often does this happen? That we'll hit a goal and I won't do the reward, or I interrupt the reward. Almost never. I was wearing the vest during the middle of the summer, right? When it was like 80, 90 degrees in this office, I was wearing vests and hats, right? This is one exception to the rule where I'm doing something that's so difficult that it's actually making my body temperature heat up, and I'm sweating profusely, and I'm like, I need to just not do this for now, for my own good, right? And it's like, if you don't understand that, I'm sorry, you're just a fucking idiot. You're an immature moron who's only here to be a dickhead, and I don't want you on my stream then. Seriously, if that's your purpose, then leave. Don't come back. Because I'm here to put out positive, fun content. I'm not here to fucking act like an idiot, dance around like a fucking clown, feeling sick, passing out on fucking stream because you think you're entitled to something that you're not, and you're just a fucking piece of shit, you know? Fuck off. Don't come back. It's that simple. And it's always been like that. This is not something that's changed recently. Like I said, this is the exception to the rule that I would not be doing a vest or hat reward. It was a one-off thing, a bad situation, right? I'm trying to make the best of the bad situation, and people want to then take shots at me. Well, guess what? It didn't work, stupid. It didn't work, okay? So, again, you got problems with that? Fine, leave. You don't have to be here. Really. No, really, I mean it. You don't have to be here and try to hamper the positive fun that all of us are having on my streams. You know, there are many people here, my regulars are here to have a good time, to relax, to enjoy games, to see me persevere in a situation like the situation I'm currently in right now in Monkey Ball. They don't give a fuck if I'm wearing a vest while I do it or not, right? It's nice to do something silly like that for the viewers, but it's not a mandatory thing, right? So, grow the fuck up. If you're here for the wrong reasons, you know, I don't know what to tell you. You gotta fucking wise up sooner or later and realize it's not all about you. It's about everyone together having a good time. And if I'm getting actually physically ill, sweating and feeling sick because I'm wearing a vest and a hat, I'm going to take it off. And if you don't get that and you think that's not acceptable, you're in the wrong place. If you don't have the best interest of the streamer in mind when you're watching their content, you shouldn't be watching their content. There you go. Okay? And again, this is the exception to the rule. This is not something that's all the time. This is every once in a while a rarity will occur, something that, you know, okay, an extenuating circumstance, right? Great. Then please understand that, right? I'm here 6 days a week full time. Every time we hit a goal, I do the reward. This is the first time in how long that I decided temporarily not to do it. And by the way, by the end of the stream, I had the vest and the hat back on again, right? Because I was feeling better by the end of the stream. I was able to do it. But again, if you have an issue with that, go fuck yourself. I don't want you on my streams. I don't want your time. I don't want your support. I want you gone. Because if you don't care about me and you actually want me to hurt myself so you can get a laugh, you can go fuck yourself and never come back.